Alright, welcome to Lesson 3, Eat to Build Muscle. In the last lesson we discussed how to eat to lose fat. This lesson is all about building muscle. Also, ladies, I want you to know that building muscle is important for you, even if your goal is weight loss and you really don't care about building muscle. If you're afraid you're going to get bulky looking from weight training, don't worry, that's not going to happen. You don't have the right hormones for that. In fact, women who weight train are more likely to lose inches rather than gain them. So building muscle or lean body mass is important for women and men for many reasons. Reason number one, muscle tissue is metabolically active tissue, meaning it requires calories just to maintain it. So the more lean body mass you have, the more calories you burn even at rest. Reason number two, weight training strengthens your bones as well as your muscles. Research has shown that weight training is the best way to increase bone density and reduce the risk of osteoporosis in women. Reason number three, weight training is good for heart health. Recent studies have shown that weight training is just as effective at promoting heart health as traditional cardiovascular training. Now, I'm not suggesting you don't do cardio. I believe both types of activity are necessary for overall health. And reason number four, weight training makes you stronger physically and mentally. The feeling of power and overcoming sets the tone for your day and taps into your inner strength. And reason number five, weight training may help you live longer. Weight training is increasingly linked with longevity. It makes it easier to stay mobile and independent and reduces the risk of all sorts of common age-related chronic illnesses. Okay, now that I've given you some of the whys of building muscle, let's get into how to eat to build muscle. If you're not overweight and your goal is to build muscle, you might think you're off the hook and can eat whatever you want. Not so fast. You have specific calorie and macronutrient needs also. In your case, you actually want to gain weight, so you'll need to be in a calorie surplus. How big of a surplus depends on who you ask. Old school bodybuilders would eat 500 to 1,000 calories extra per day and gain a lot of fat with their muscle. The thinking behind this is that food is very anabolic or muscle building, which it is. They'd eat everything in sight during their off season and build tons of muscle and gain tons of fat in the process. Then they would have to diet down for months and months leading up to their competition. Did it work? Yes, they gained muscle. The problem is they lost a lot of it when they dieted down for their show. The longer you're in a calorie deficit to lose fat, the more muscle you risk losing in the process. The fact is, you will gain some fat along with your new muscle tissue if you're in a calorie surplus. Of course, the goal, in my opinion, is to gain as much muscle as possible and as little fat as possible. So I recommend starting at about 200 to 300 calorie per day surplus. So just as in weight loss, tracking your nutritional intake is non-negotiable. Remember, 200 calories is about 2 portions or 10 to 12 bites of food. So without nutrition tracking, it's very easy to be a couple hundred calories off one way or the other and not even realize it. Now, what if you're overweight and you want to build muscle? If your goal is to lose weight and build muscle at the same time, you can be in a calorie deficit and still build muscle. As long as your body has all the raw materials it needs to build and repair tissue and enough energy to do so, you will build muscle. That energy can come from fat stores or the food you eat. So if you're not overweight and you want to build muscle, a small calorie surplus is in order. But if you're overweight and you want to lose fat and build muscle, then you can eat in a deficit and still make progress. Action points. If you're overweight and you've already worked through last lesson's action points, then you're good to go. Continue the next lessons in this program to learn about exercise and how to speed up fat loss and how to train to build muscle. Action points if you're not overweight and your goal is to build muscle. Action point number 1, download the estimated calorie needs chart to determine your estimated calorie needs, or use the link to the Spirit and Muscle Online Calorie Calculator. Action point 2, print out the Eat to Build Muscle worksheet and follow the instructions to determine your calorie goals for each day and your target protein, fat, and carbs for each day. Action point number 3, print out 3 copies of the nutrition assessment food log if you haven't already. And for the next 3 days, I want you to write down everything you eat, including the calories and macronutrients. Don't change your eating habits, just record what you're eating for the next 3 full days. This is going to let you know where you're going to need to make adjustments moving forward. And action point number 4, start tracking your nutrition. Click on the link to the top 5 calorie counting apps, research and decide which app is the best fit for you. After your 3-day nutrition assessment, begin using your new diet tracking system. So whether your goal is to lose weight or build muscle or both, it's important to track your progress and make adjustments to your program as needed. If your goal is to lose weight and you're not losing a pound a week, you can increase your calorie deficit slightly and see if that puts you back on track. If your goal is to build muscle and you're not gaining about half a pound a week, add 100 calories a day and see if that's puts you back on track. Okay, if you're gaining a little more fat than you want, adjust your calories down a little. So again, I remind you the number one reason people get discouraged and quit is due to lack of progress because their nutrition is not on point. Just to remind you, your nutrition is what's going to determine whether or not you make progress. So don't become a statistic. Alright, that is it for this lesson. I know we covered a lot of material. Take your time, use the resources, review the lesson if you'd like. Let me know if you have any questions below, and I'll see you in the next lesson.